that the moment you see it's about to get pulled over here or over here, are you willing to relax? Are you willing to just relax? You let it go. God, I always explain it this way. People think you have to be strong to do this. You do not have to be strong to do this. This is not a question of strength. Suppression is the worst thing you can ever do. Understand that? All right? Or, okay, I'm going to sit there and deal with it, express it or do what the heck it is, try to fix it, right? No. The right thing to do is if something comes up, to relax and release. And what you've done then is allowed the room for the cause to pass through. You love everybody more because you release the blockage that caused the reaction. You're there, you're conscious. An event takes place that triggers you, and all of a sudden you start to get distracted. It starts to pull. It's a pull. It's like a water skiing. Have you ever water skied? The boat pulls you. That's what this distraction does. It pulls your consciousness toward it. Relax. Relax and release. I call it R&R. You need some R&R, right? You relax and release. And what will happen is the energy will not pull the consciousness out, and you will have transcended and transmuted the power of that energy. Now, you listen to me, right? I'm literally saying the power that had over you, when you are able to relax your way through it, that power comes back to self every single time. And it builds the power of self. Next time, your will be 100 times stronger than it was this time. Do you understand that? So you're either giving your will to what's pulling on it. If you're trying to stop drinking, every single time you don't drink, you are more likely to not drink. Do you understand that? Every time, but I had a bad day. You made it through it. You didn't do it. You built the power of will in the power of self. And likewise, every single time you do drink, after 5 years of not drinking, you got all your chips together, go have one drink and tell me how easier the second one is. Does anybody understand? The power of not doing it that you built over 5 years is almost totally overcome by drinking once. Go ask AA, they'll tell you. The same thing goes with any of these habits. Because your neural pathways are carved to do it, if you refeed them, they flow right back there. You deal with it the moment it shows up, let go, and then you come tell me what's going to happen to you, because I'll see it in your eyes. The power that it had over you gets transmuted to you, to the self, and all of a sudden this tremendously powerful center of being is what exists. This is the core of your being. Now you're doing core workout. You're building the center of your being to be strong enough to let go of the pull that these habits and tendencies have over you. Every single time you let go, a piece of those rocks that are causing disturbance are purified. And this is real spiritual growth. And this is yoga, right? The reason you do all your practices is to learn to sit in this seat and let go. Well, how often do I let go? Every single time. If I'm attracted to you, right? And I say, I'll have to deal with that. I have an attraction. You're not dealing with that. You're dealing with your attraction. It's going to run your life. It's going to determine what you say, what you don't say, right or wrong. Same thing with your fears and insecurities. If you don't let go inside, the inside will run the outside. Does everybody see that? So when it hits, it's going to come up inside. You always let go. Nobody believes me. You always let go. Always. There is never, ever a time that the highest dharmic right thing to do is not let go. He said, first of all, the master can do anything. If it's truly a master merged with God, he has all the power in the universe. He would never, ever do it under any circumstances, ever. Because then you did not evolve enough, which is the purpose of life. You did not evolve enough to liberate yourself. Therefore, you didn't come back to God. So it's not about the stuff not hurting. It's about you weren't able to handle it when it happened, so you let it go. You use it wisely and you release it. The consciousness remains in the seat of self, even though a distracting event took place and began to pull on it, it came back to its center. It didn't go all the way out. It started to go out. It's like a whoop, whoop. That's what it feels like inside. Whoop, right? It starts to pull out. You relax. You don't pull it back. I'm telling you, don't try to be stronger than the noise that's distracting you. The key is to relax. If you relax, you stay. Isn't that neat? It is the relaxation that does it. So you relax through these disturbances. Every one you relax through makes you stronger for any other one. At first, it's hard, right? Because you want to fix it. Either suppress it or fix it, right? No, relax. You'll learn to do it. You'll practice, just like learning a piano or learning to play tennis. Practice, practice, just practice. Don't get hard on yourself. Don't worry if it fails. Relax, it'll come back. Relax, it'll come back. And every time it comes back, the power of the distraction gets invested into the seat of self. And all of a sudden, your center, you can't even talk about it. You become what's called a being of power. And you feel it. That power you build inside, this is Shakti. You're building the power of being, of yourself, back to the center of self, all right? Then it will build your center, like we talked about, and it gets stronger and stronger, and eventually you will reach a point where the joy, the love, the power is feeding you from inside. And there's nothing that can come in from outside that's more beautiful than what's going on inside. Every one of you have that center, right? Yogananda said, there's a river of joy flowing inside of you. Find it, go there, get in, and drown. The power of relaxing and releasing to allow the chi, the Shakti, to build back into your center. And then eventually it starts flowing up. That's what it does. Because you're not going with the pull down, it changes direction. It literally changes direction and starts flowing up and feeding you. Now, if you're smart, you realize this is more beautiful than anything I ever experienced. I'm going to hang out with this. And now you start really, really building a center inside yourself, and you would never let anything take it away from you. And then it gets stronger. It just does nothing but get stronger all the time. And eventually it gets so strong, what does? The joy, the beauty, the bliss, the ecstasy flowing up inside of you that you can't stand it. Literally, can't stand in its presence. It starts pulling you into it. You're not doing anything. It's not an act of meditation. It's just pulling you into it. And it's so beautiful that you want to just melt. You don't even want to exist. You want to just melt into it. Now you're being pulled naturally into the higher states. You fall into a breathless state with that going on. Now that's very honorable. You understand that? Because you purified. Those states don't come and go. Now you become, that's where the great masters lived. They merged. They just released the personal completely. Is the evolution of the soul. It is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger because it's able to let go of what was pulling it down. It becomes healthier and healthier, and eventually there's not a single thing in this world, nothing. We chant the Sri Magita in the morning. There's a line that says, the man that has tasted the bliss of the self may move amongst objects of sense without fear. His mind never clings to the world's misery. His heart is with God, and his soul is set free. How's that sound? Like what we just talked about, right? And it's called Jivan Mukta. You're now a liberated being.